Sangakkara.
Yes, well, if he isn't the greatest cricketer, Bill, the most aesthetically pleasing to watch bat. Kumar, thank you so much for coming into the Rush Hour.
Thank you for having us on.
You've brought along your good mate and chef, a business venture, of course, Darshan Mundasa. I've got that right?
Yes.
Welcome to you as well.
Thank you for having us.
Tell us about the new restaurant. It's called, Daisy?
The Ministry of Crab.
Crab.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yes.
Crab.
So tell us about it. Where is it? Why?
So we started the Ministry of Crab in 2011 after quite a drunken night out.
Good.
As most good ideas, take flight. So had a chat. Darshan, another friend of ours from LA, Mahela Javardhan, who played cricket with me. So we were all together talking about the Singapore chili crab and how in the world. Why do people go to Singapore to eat Sri Lankan crab and talk about Singapore chili? We were like, no, we've got to bring it back to Sri Lanka. We've got to highlight this ingredient. And Darshan said, yeah, let's start a restaurant. And then I thought we'll open 6 months, close down. It'd be a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I think my wife went for opening night. She called and said 2 weeks and you're done for the 6 months. But 14 years later, here we are.
14 years.
Our flagship is still in Sri Lanka, in Colombo. It's become a hugely successful destination restaurant for anyone who travels into Sri Lanka. And we've expanded overseas as well. And we've just come to Melbourne. And let Darshan talk a little bit more about the details of the Melbourne restaurant.
I think the mud crab from Sri Lanka has always been a super ingredient in Singapore. So I wanted to re-own the crab for Sri Lanka. So hence the name Ministry of Crab. Went out looking for a ministerial building, found one 350 years old, old hospital built by the Dutch.
Right.
Today we are in Shanghai, Bangkok, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Chengdu, and the Maldives also.
We love our cricket in here at Triple M, and we
do.
were discussing before who we thought was Sri Lanka's best ever cricketer. Where do you see yourself, and do you or would you put a name forward to be the best ever?
Aravinda De Silva, to me, is the best batter that Sri Lanka has produced. Sanajai Surya, best all-rounder. Murali, best ever spinner.
Yeah.
Warne, just below Murali.
Oh, come on, Sanga.
As a keeper, how did you go keeping to what is arguably one of the best bowlers with the biggest bag of tricks?
Yeah, not very well at the start. You talk about making a fool of a batter, but, he made quite the fool of me when I first started. But I spent a lot of time, and after about a year and a half of keeping to him, then it actually became easier to keep to him because he was pretty consistent. Every off-break turned as an off-break, and every doosra went the other way. And as long as I read his hand and the ball out of his hand, I was fine. Whereas other spinners, they'll bowl one. Some won't turn, some might. So it's more confusing after a while to keep to others. But yeah, it was a challenge, but great fun.
Who did you love playing? Obviously, the Aussies. Who did you love playing against? Who was Australia's best batsman, best bowler?
Oh, there were quite a lot of great players, wasn't there? Punter was incredible. Gilchrist. I love Darren Lehman as a batter. I think he was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Great eye, great coordination, great guy. I've always got on really well with him. Binger was exceptional for a fast ball. He's just a really nice guy. And Murali and Michael Hussey get on really well because both are just absolute
cricket
nut. Mr. Cricket in Australia, Michael Hussey, and in Sri Lanka it's Murali. And I think the two of them together is a nightmare for anyone in a group because they'll just sit and just mutter about cricket.
Who used to give it to you? Because you're a beautiful man. You're well known worldwide as one of the great gentlemen. Who used to give it to you? Merv?
That Merv was way before my time.
Right.
I'm not that old.
I'm trying to think of someone. Tom Bradman? Who gave it to you?
I think the Australians were always tough on the field, but when I started playing, I started in 2000, and we had a few run-ins. But I think after 2008 and after playing against each other for quite a few years, I think there was always mutual respect. And then after the franchise tournament started, you got on really well with each other. You still competed pretty hard on the field. So there were times when you had a few words, but I don't remember anything really specific. But yeah, we've always. It was always a great challenge to play the Australians. To come and try and beat the Australians in Australia was a huge thing for us. Unfortunately, we've lost to them, in the World Cup final in 2007, 2003. We lost to them in the semis, so we have a bit of history in World Cups with them as well. And then in '96, we managed to beat them in that great final.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's your take on the current state of Test cricket?
Well, I think it's got its inherent problems, as we've all seen, and it's also due with how the finances are allocated, because hosting Test cricket comes at a huge cost that a lot of the other countries outside India, Australia, and England can't really afford.
Yep.
And unless you are playing against England, Australia, especially India, so the cost of hosting Test cricket is very prohibitive in terms of playing a lot of it for the small, like Sri Lanka, for instance. And it is quite unfair to expect all these home boards to keep bearing that cost. And be able to also sustain cricket, invest into the grassroots, and so on. So there needs to be, quite a lot of solutions and long-term, lasting, sustainable solutions thought about. It's been discussed, and you also now have a very congested calendar with a lot of T20 cricket, a lot of franchise cricket. And you also have to understand, as cricketers, you're entertainers, as administrators, have to keep the game healthy, but ultimately you have to offer the fans what they want, because without the fans, without being relevant, everything will die. So yeah, Test cricket's amazing. I love Test cricket, but the reality is you will have less of it as we go along.
In touch with all the old players and old Sri Lankan cricketers, because we loved them over the years. Ravi Ratnayaka and
He lives in Australia.
yeah,
in Melbourne
like
as
a
well.
lot of them have come out and played
Lasuk
cricket.
Malinga was massive here when he
He
came out and
lives
played for
here.
the Stars.
Yeah,
yeah.
Dilshan lives here. Tilan
Dilshan.
Samaravira lives here.
Right.
So you got quite a lot of Sri Lankan
what's it?
ex-cricketers who come
Ratatunga used to get up the Aussies upset.
quite a lot. It's quite funny watching
Did he get into the restaurant?
Ian Healy react to Arjuna Ranatunga, ask him for a runner. And Arjuna used to just do it because he knew that it upset the Aussies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's quite funny at that time, yeah.
I saw a bit of your
Saminda Vas.
Oh yes,
Saminda Vas,
superstars.
Yeah.
Keeping to Murali, I think it was up in Brisbane with Jimmy Marr batting.
Yeah,
Now,
I
you talk
remember
about
that.
the ball that generally goes and
Yeah.
moves the same amount.
Yeah,
Can you run us through this one?
Yeah, unfortunately, Ian Healy was on commentary. Otherwise, I would have got away with what arguably would have been called an incredible stumping.
Yes.
Until Ian Healy analysed it and said, I think Kumar just read that wrong, which was absolutely true. I thought it was a dusra, it was an off spinner, and I had to just chuck out a glove. It stuck in my left glove, and I was so far away from the stumps by that time. I had to turn around and throw it back at the stumps. But good old Jimmy, he was so far down the track, he had no way of still coming back. So I was lucky. Yeah, I remember that.
No, Kumar, and of course, Darshan, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
All the
having
best
us.
with the venture, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Good
very
on
much.
Kumar Sangakkara, Darshan Munadasa, of course, ministryofcrab.com.au. If you're visiting Melbourne or you live in Melbourne, go and check out this restaurant. It's the Rush Hour, Triple M.